Hi theory students. Today we're covering the last part of chapter 29, chromatic harmony and voice leading. And this part is about chromatic mediants and submediants. A chromatic mediant or submediant is a harmony or a key or a mode that's not found in the diatonic key. For example, in the key of D major, the regular mediant or 3 chord is F sharp minor. The regular submediant or 6 chord is B minor. Chromatic mediants might include F major, F sharp major, and F minor. Here's how we would categorize these chromatic mediants. In the D major example just given, F major is borrowed from the parallel minor, the key of D minor. This is sometimes called simple mixture. F sharp major is formed by taking the normal scale degree 3 in D major, F sharp, and changing the quality of the chord from minor to major. So F sharp minor becomes F sharp major, and this is sometimes called secondary mixture. F minor, the third example, is formed by a two-step process. First, you take the borrowed chord from the parallel key, and here we take F major from the key of D minor, and then we change the quality, turning F major into F minor. And this is sometimes called complex or compound mixture. Let me show you on the staff to illustrate. So here in this example, in the key of D, the 3 chord is an F sharp minor chord. If I borrow from the key of D minor, then the 3 chord is a major chord. And in terms of notation, even though it's made by turning the F sharp to F natural, just to be consistent, we'll always refer to that as flat 3. The flat precedes the root, showing that the root's altered, and the 3 capitalized, showing this is a major chord now. So that's called flat 3, that F major chord. The secondary mixture is taken by using the regular 3, F sharp minor, and changing the quality from minor to major. Here, we just write a capital Roman numeral 3 to show that it's a major chord, but still built on our regular scale degree 3, F sharp. And finally, the complex or compound mixture here, two-step process. First is to borrow from the parallel minor, so that gives us an F major chord, and then to change the quality from F major to F minor. And here I did the same thing for all of the submediants, so you could follow how those work. So let me sort of play some examples about how these chords might be used in progressions. So if we're in D major, here's borrowing the F major chord from D minor, and I'm briefly going into D minor and then cadencing back to D major. So I went from a 1 chord, D major, to F major, G minor, 2 chords from the parallel minor, 5, and the major 1. And we've seen examples of that borrowing. The F sharp major chord might be used as a neighbor chord to 1. So it's a way of expanding the tonic in a chromatic fashion, where I'm just alternating 1 chords and major 3 chords. The complex mixture is a little trickier in usage. If I alternate those, it almost sounds like it's a kind of horror movie score or something like that, because the 2 worlds of D major and F minor are so different, and the F minor sounds so dark in this context. What I explained earlier, the Roman numeral needs to reflect the quality of the chord and whether the root is the normal scale degree or the altered one. So when we go to F major from D, because the root is altered, we put that, meaning that the root is lowered from F sharp to F, and we put a capital 3 to indicate that it's a major chord. Similarly, the F sharp major was just written as capital 3 because we used the scale degree from D major, F sharp, but we're turning it into a major chord. Note that this is different than a secondary dominant because I'm not using it in a descending 5th progression. And finally, the complex mixture, flat, because I'm turning F sharp to F natural, and lowercase 3 because I'm turning a major chord into a minor chord. When we're using these, there are local versus larger considerations. The chord progressions that I just played for you were localized. I'm just using these chords in a particular place in a progression in D major. But there may be larger scale considerations. If you look in your book on example 2914, they give you an example where there's a phrase in B flat, and then a phrase in D, and a very brief mention of G flat major on the way back to B flat. Notice here a major third there, a major third below the tonic, and we're dividing the octave then into equal intervals, each a major third around. In the late 19th century, this became an important consideration. And in this example 29.14, we're seeing this happen in a tonicization over several phrases. There could be full modulations in larger pieces that can achieve the same purpose over a much longer span of time. It's difficult to make generalizations as to how these chromatic mediants are used because they're all particular to individual pieces by composers. But think of these as new harmonic and tonal possibilities that composers start exploring in the 19th century in a variety of ways. That's all for this video.